7 things I learned from the 1984 Topps celebration of the Bench, Yaz, and Perry retirements. The first set I ever put together, strictly from packs that I opened myself, in the year they were issued, was the 1984 Topps. It was an interesting and varied issue that featured the usual stars, rookies, and special subsets, plus the addition of colorful active career leader cards that spotlighted many of the future Hall of Famers who were still playing as the 1980s neared their midpoint. Topps also honored 3 retiring legends with a 1983 highlight card that featured Johnny Bench, Gaylord Perry, and Carl Yastrzemski. It was a nice sentiment, and I loved the card in some ways, but it was pretty strange in others. Nonetheless, the card and the research it spurred me to do taught me some things that I didn't realize before. For instance, number 1, Topps didn't know what highlight means. The Cincinnati Reds were terrible in the early 1980s, and by the time I started following them in 1983, Johnny Bench was about the only interesting thing they had going on, aside from Mario Soto. His retirement was no highlight in my book, and I suspect the same held true for Yaz and the Boston Red Sox fans, and Perry's retirement must have dinged Vaseline's standing in the stock market. Number 2. Johnny Bench was gone way too soon. Bench was just 35 when he hung up his spikes, but his body was just too broken down after so many years behind the plate in Cincy. You have to think that he'd still be going if he played today, thanks to better handling of players by management, easy movement between leagues, opening up the DH, and bigger contracts. I'd have been down with that. Number 3. Carl Yastrzemski played until he was 71. Just look at his picture for proof. Number 4. Carl Yastrzemski suffered from chronic pain. Again, just look at his picture. Whether his ailment stemmed from playing the game at such an advanced age, playing in Boston, or a bad clam chowder, it's just not clear. Number 5. Gaylord Perry played until he was 73. Rumor is that he was 40 at birth. There are some rumors that he was actually Bench's father. Number 6. All 3 men played their final game on October 2nd, 1983. Also on that date, Art Monk of the NFL Washington Redskins began a streak of recording at least one pass reception in a game that would eventually extend to 183 consecutive contests. Number 7. Perry played for 6 more franchises, 8 than Yaz and Bench combined. Apparently his pitches had a lot of movement on them. There's still plenty to be learned from this classic card, but I'll leave it up to you to discover the rest of the hidden truth. After all, discovery is half the fun of the knowledge, right?